Sabina, please, if you want to talk a little bit about your work at Myceen and yeah, what you currently do there.
Okay, yes. Thank you, Lachlan, for such a extensive introduction. Yeah, my name is Sabina. I'm working in Myceen currently, and we are dealing with biotechnology. So basically, we are growing different mycelium products, combining mycelium with wood byproducts, and we're making furniture out of there. But we are also focusing now on not only acoustic panels, but also insulation materials.
Oh, that is very interesting, and it relates very much to the matter of sustainability of environmental causes, which especially at this point also having recently, like also at this point having COP29 ongoing, it's quite interesting. But how did you end up choosing the University of Tartu? Because I understand, how did you end up choosing Estonia? Because I understand that you had this passion, let's say, for material sciences from before you came here. So why did you choose it, both in terms of discipline, but also in terms of country?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, it's a good one. Well, basically, my search started after I finished my bachelor's. I knew by that time already that I want to do master's somewhere abroad. And then I was just searching for any universities, and I found one program which was based in University of Tartu. But the deadline was over for that program, and then I started looking into the University of Tartu more, and I found out that there is material science, and that was exactly where I wanted to go at that point after finishing my bachelor's. Then I applied, and then I was waiting for the answer. Then I also looked at the University of Tartu is one of the best universities in Baltic states. And then the program description was really cool. And why Estonia is basically, it was not so far away from my home. And yeah, I was like, I have been there a couple of times. I've never lived there, but it sounds like an adventure. So I decided to go for it. And I don't regret.
Yeah, it seems so, at least by judging by the fact that you remained in the ecosystem in general and in the country. But yeah, this is a very interesting point, actually, because like some people, I guess, consider Estonia to be rather remote. But if you see this from the perspective of Belarus, for example, or from the Scandinavian countries, it's rather a very good location. But yeah, that's quite interesting. But how did you manage to do? Because like a lot of people might consider, okay, I want to come to Estonia to start my academic trajectory and my career here, but it's the language a little bit that belongs to a different family that might be difficult for me to learn. So first of all, did you learn Estonian? Was it necessary for you to get a job, for example, with Estonian, or and yeah, how do you navigate so far within the country and in the job market with regards to the language?
Yeah, so currently I would say that if you're looking for a job in a startup, Estonian is not a must, but it's always good to know the language or to learn the language of the country you live in. Because I remember the first time I arrived to Estonia when I was just starting my master's, I understood nothing that was written, and it was so confusing because you feel like you're a child, you're like completely new to everything. But then I started learning in the University of Tartu. They have really nice courses there, and then I still keep learning, but it's not, yeah, it's not what you have to have in order to find like a position in Estonia, I would say. Although some fields require that, but in most cases, from what I observed, is not in the research field or in data or in IT. The companies which are based in Estonia, in Tallinn specifically, they are very international, and of course, they are open if you speak Estonian, and it's going to open more doors for you in communication wise. But for the job perspective, I'm pretty sure there are options without knowing the language.
This is this is quite positive because as you mentioned, I think this applies for every country. Knowing the local language is always going to open more doors, and it is a must because at the end of the day we're social creatures, so we need to communicate also within our workplace. But it's very good that it is a good point as a starter, within the job market, that you get to you are able to find a job without like mastering the language, and then you can do that while you're working, for example. Very, very good. But
yes, exactly. Just one additional point is that, for example, for the medicine students, it's a little bit more challenging. That then, for example, you need to know Estonian, or you have to like learn already in Estonia. But for everything else, yeah, just be open and try, and then it's always a good thing to like keep learning and keep trying.
yeah, that is a very valid point, actually. Yeah, like for example, yeah, like people in medicine, you need to be able to communicate with the local community, which of course not everybody will know English, of course. So yeah, could you for yeah going towards the like getting a job, for example,
Mhm.
how difficult, or how easy do you think it was for you to get a job? Did you get it like while you working, also while you were a student? Like what how was the whole process? How did you experience the whole process?
Yeah, so to start, I think I did not work while I was studying. I was mostly focused on the thesis and like just getting as much experience as I could. And then I started searching already several months before I knew I would finish. And yeah, it was not easy. uh, let's put it that way. That it requires a lot of energy, lots of like CV writing, the motivation letter writing, and just like applying. And actually, the Myceen position I got from Mireille, he sent me a Facebook post, and then I just applied. So thank you, Mireille, once again.
This is
Yeah, and the good thing about Estonia is that it is very small, so people, they know each other, so they can communicate, and everyone who is looking for the positions they share. And yeah, it's not that complicated to find. If you're already know some people, they will just share, or they will recommend you to some company, or invite for an interview or something like this. But the whole process itself, if you're just starting, and if you're just from the university, when you feel like, oh yes, I'm willing to learn, and then you apply, and then no, apply, no, and it's like 100 no's, then it might be a little bit, yeah, sad. But it just, you have to go through it and be prepared, but never give up. And yeah.
Yeah, that is very good advice, actually, because a lot of people probably, not just here, but in general, I think they might be going through this struggle during a job search. But yeah, this is a very good point of solidarity that you mentioned, and also yeah, both within the international student community, but it's good also that it's a general thing also. In Estonia, most probably. Yeah, like one more question regarding that. So what were, let's say, the main challenges that you faced when like going towards the workforce? I mean, you mentioned, of course, the main difficulties finding a job, but let's say going from a student to becoming, let's say, to becoming a part of the workforce, what were the biggest challenges that you faced, for example? So yeah.
Yeah, good question. I would say that because I was also based in Tartu, I had to move to Tallinn. That was one. The whole process of finding a place, I stayed at Frank's place for 5 days, and then I was back in Tartu for the weekends. This moving is like another level. But also moving from like student life to employer level, let's say, you understand how how precious the time is as well, and how much freedom you have once you're a student. And this, at the first place, might be a little bit confusing. And also what, especially when you start working, then it requires so much energy, in a good sense, that you learn so much. Then after, for example, the first 2 weeks, then you're like, your brain is a little bit tired and your body is a little bit tired. And then once you get into the process and once you understand how it all works and once you settle your routine, for some people it helps. For me, for example, for the others might be different. But for me, when I kind of understood, okay, how Tallinn works, where should I go, which bus to take, or, like all these small details, then it was fine. But these small details in the very beginning, once you move to a new place or once you start your work, where you have to like figure out how to do everything completely differently from what you used to, might be challenging as well. Yeah. So
Yeah,
this, you have to be prepared and kind of like just give yourself space and time for that.
yeah. Usually it is the challenge of 21 days, as they say. Initially you think, oh my God, I'm not going to do it. But after 21 days, it becomes a routine. But for other people,
Yeah,
it might be
for
more
me it
than
was exactly
that.
21.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, one last question. Yeah, based on the whole discussion, like what kind of like one small like piece of advice that you might have to give to future students, to those like watching the webinar, to like everybody?
Yeah. Stay positive, stay focused, and learn and be confident in yourself and just manifest what you want, and then you will achieve it. Everything is going to be all right.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
study hard.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much, Sabina. And yeah, this has been quite
Thank
insightful.
you.
And yeah, like a very, very nice, very interesting discussion about the topic and about the master's degree that it might not be that much discussed, but it's very, very important also for many parts of of the economy and also for the environment, as we discussed before. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.